Hey, this is Gina, DNS Bait, and this report is current as of Friday the 21st here. Things have really kind of slowed down here around town with the weather that we've had this last week. A lot of wind, weather, the cooler weather. It's supposed to warm up this weekend, so hopefully things will pick back up. Up here on Lake Mendota, the smallmouth bass have been fairly active along the weed lines till this little cold snap came in, and again, hopefully that's going to pick up. I've heard some pike action on Lake Mendota. Some of the guys have been trolling a little bit of deeper water and been getting quite a few nice pike. As far as walleyes go, they've still been trolling the bars and some of the mud areas in that 20 to 23 feet of water or so, and they've been getting quite a few nice walleyes at times. Perch action's been pretty sporadic at best. They've been taking some along the weed lines over on the west side of the lake. Spring Harbor, Marshall Park, even Hatch Cover. I've heard some in University Bay. I've heard some down towards the Union and the Edgewater Motel. I've heard some in Warner Bay by Governor's Island. All of these fish have been by the weed edges, and they aren't always active, so it's a hit or miss thing. Over on Lake Monona, the bluegill action has really tapered off in the last couple of weeks. It was pretty hot and heavy there for a while, and it actually started to taper off before we got this cooler weather, so but if you go on it, you can still catch some bluegills. It's just you got to pick and choose, or work at it a little bit. There are still fish on the weed edges and over the weeds. There are still fish out into 20, 25 feet of water down near the bottom. They're really scattered. They don't always bite, and when they do, they don't always bite hard. And there are some suspended fish out over deep water. Same thing, not always biting, and when they do, they don't bite very hard. But the guys that have been going down and working at it pretty hard have been putting together, some fish. It's not been real impressive like it was a few weeks ago. Muskie action's been kind of quiet here lately. I haven't heard too much for the last week or so. They were getting some fish trolling on Waubesa and Kegonsa, or Monona, but I haven't heard that as of late. I do hear a little bit of bluegill action on Waubesa, or up until we had this cold weather anyway, but it was pretty slow, but they were getting some real nice sized fish. Most of those fish seem to be on the weed lines and some rocks adjacent to the weeds. Mud Lake, I've still been hearing some bluegills over in that area, around the edges of the dredge hole mostly, around the weed lines. But for the most part, I haven't heard too much over there recently. All that's due to this weather that's been in here, I'm sure, for the most part. It's supposed to get nice again this weekend, so things should start to pick up. The phone number here is 608-241-4225. Give me a call if you got any questions. Thanks. Bye.